Walla Walla, Walla Walla people, Walla Walla, my brethren, my Aki, my Akian, my sisters. How y'all feeling? Hey, I wanted to talk about this Thomas Jefferson bill. For those who don't know, that we was in Washington D.C. We went to Washington D.C., the state capital. Went to the state capital in Washington D.C. about a week ago. Matter of fact, we were there on the 5th of June. And what we there were to basically to send a video out, but we were gathering there. We gathered there, and basically in front of the Most High. That's what it was most important. We gathered there in front of our Creator to see that we were basically fighting and actually to amend and to bring out the Thomas Jefferson, the Quarry 14. Okay, his Quarry 14 was a proposal that Thomas Jefferson had made up back when he was alive, about a repatriate, to repatriate. So it was reparations to repatriate for the so-called African American people. Okay, and what that was, because we had been kidnapped, we were prisoners of war. So you guys, some people call it slaves, but its correct term was prisoners of war. And what that was entailing is that the fact that we know that Thomas Jefferson was smart. He knew that we couldn't live together because of the atrocities and the hatred that his people had for us. So he wanted us basically, well, to live. He wondered why we couldn't. He couldn't just emancipate us in society, in the civil rights, into the, to mingle into the people. But he knew that there would be a war. There would be a war between us one day if that was the case. If we had money and they had money, if we had both had finances to be able, because he knew the hatred that either their people had for us or our people had for them because of what we've been through. Okay, so he knew that this was a long line of us being prisoners, and he knew it was a long lineage of his people, that the hate that they had for us. Okay, so even when, you got to remember that even when they would have bills, they would free us. They would propose certain bills that was put on us for hardship. That the fact that they would go and amend them again. Okay, so even when we proposed these bills, somehow they would always vote to get these bills amended for us. Meaning that every time we fought one bill off for us not to be slaves in some shape, form, or fashion, here comes another one. Here comes the Jim Crow law. Here comes the other war on drugs that had particularly to do with us, because remember, we were the tail, they were the head. So these guys were the head, but they could not help but to keep looking back at us to see what we were doing and to try to control somehow, because their fear always, the so-called white man's fear, the so-called our oppressors' fear, was the fact that we would gain some type of notoriety, or we would gain equality for ourselves, and they couldn't stand that. So they felt like that it would be taken away from them. So therefore, Thomas Jefferson knew that. So he proposed the fact that if we did get some money, for them to give us some type of resources, that we would be able to repatriate. Repatriate means to first of all pay us, okay, pay us for the antiquities that you have stolen, but also to relocate into a land of ours. Okay, so, and what we're trying to do, as you understand, it's not just that we're asking for reparations, okay, not that we're just asking for this bill so we can just get some money. We're asking for this because the only way that we're going to be able to build Jerusalem. Okay, you got to think this is something that the Most High is asking us to do. We're not asking us because of our greed. We're asking this so we can make. You heard when Nehemiah All right, if you go look in chapter 3 of Nehemiah, Nehemiah was sent out with a whole bunch of stuff. You understand, to go build his land, the resources to build his land. If you look at even Solomon building the house for the house of Yah, the house of Elohim, you see that Hiram, he was given by Hiram a whole bunch of stuff to build, to actually build that temple. So the Hebrew people has always had help from outside sources or even inside sources to build the temple of the Most High. So that's what we're actually doing. We're demanding, okay, we're crying out to the United States to actually, government to actually give us reparations so we could go and build the temple of the Most High, okay? And before we start, if we understand, if you go to Isaiah 66, just in the beginning of Isaiah 66, hold on, let's just go there real quick, okay? Or even Isaiah 65, okay? In Isaiah 65, you can see that the Most High says that you have forgotten his house, okay? That we have forgotten his house. Okay, so let's go to Isaiah 65 real quick just to see, hit that on a bird's eye view real fast, okay? Let me see, let's go to Isaiah, okay. Okay, we could find it just real quick. We could find it. Let's go to Isaiah. Let's start at Isaiah 65 and go down to 9. Let's see what we come up with. 9 says, "Thus said the Lord," and the new wine is fine. Okay, 9 says, "And I will bring forth a seed." Oh man, I lost it. Hold up. Give me a second. We'll go back around. No problem. Isaiah 66. I don't know what happened, but it's good. Okay, Isaiah 65. Okay, let's go down to 9 real fast. Okay, and it says, "I will bring forth a seed, and I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, an inheritor of my mountains." Okay, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. Okay, so he's talking about the fact that his people, all right, which are the Hebrew people, the Abara, all right, would dwell there. Okay, and Sharon shall be a fold of the flocks in the valley of Achor. Okay, Sharon is a place, the valley of Achor is a place. Okay, and the herds will lie down for my people that have sought me. Okay, my people that have sought me. Okay, so look at 65 and 11. It says, "But ye, they that forsake the Lord," all right, Elohim, "they that forsake the Lord, that forgot my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish a drink offering into that number." Okay, so you can see he has something, even a sword for the people, that therefore I will number you to the sword. Okay, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, you did not answer. So the people who's basically who's downing or saying that we don't need reparations, do you know how much it cost to build the temple of the Most High? Remember, Hiram had to ship him cedars of wood, all type of gold, and all. Where you think we're going to get that from? So people who don't listen, people who don't understand the Bible, who's connected into the false teachings, okay, they don't understand that they're in the priesthood of the Mahad. Okay, that is the actual priesthood that is of Satan. That is the actual priesthood that goes against the Hamashiach. They really don't understand what they're doing, because the Most High hasn't given them discernment, and they're going to lead a whole bunch of people into slaughter. Okay, what did he say? "Therefore I will number you to the sword." Okay, so "but ye that have forsaken it." Okay, see, they're forsaking it, right? They got so much hate in their blood they don't understand. They're forsaking the Lord that forgot. They're forsaking the Lord, right? And they forgot the holy mountain that prepared a table. You know, they forgot the Lord's holy mountain. Okay, so they prepare a table, another table. All right, they're preparing a table for the enemy, and they really don't understand that. Anytime, if you've got the same idea as the oppressor, then you got to look in the mirror. You got to look at yourself. Okay, your oppressor forsake the Hamashiach. So you turn around and forsake the Hamashiach, okay? Your oppressor forsake the holy mountain, so then you turn around and forsake the holy mountain too. You got to look at yourself, man. I don't know if it's college or just, I don't know what it is that made you go away from the Lord, okay? But people, you really got to look at yourself. If you start to have the same ideas as the oppressor, then something got to be wrong, okay? You got to understand that. So the Lord, the Most High said, therefore I will number you to the sword, okay? And ye shall bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, you did not answer, okay? So, but for the people that adhere to the Hamashiach, that's how they know where the people that adhere to the Hamashiach, that's how they have learned where the true mountain of the Lord is. That's Mount Zion, okay? That's Mount Zion, where the actual fortification, where actual the foundation of the temple is. So any other place where they call Mount Zion, is there a foundation of the temple there, that like in Nehemiah 3? No, there is not. So I don't know why you all listen to other people tell y'all where Mount Zion is, and if it don't have the foundation of the temple like in Nehemiah 3, then it can't be. Okay, it can't be. Remember, the Most High said He will cover that. He will make that land desolate. Now that land has been revealed to you, and now it's time to go build back the temple. Okay, so as you can see, what we're talking about is, look, all right. What we're talking about is our antiquities, okay? Our antiquities, okay? You're blaspheming upon the hills, okay? So the Lord will bring forth, okay? Like in Isaiah right here in 65 and 9, I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob, okay? A seed out of Judah, okay? An interior of the mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it. And that's what's going on right now. Okay, that's what's going on. We got brothers over there that's inheriting those mountains, that mountain of Zion right now. So you got to understand that, okay? You must understand that. You must understand that, you bumba clock, okay? Seriously, man, it's imperative. And then when you get down to 66, it said, thus said the Lord, the heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house? Where is the house that ye built unto me? Okay? And where is the place of my rest? Where is the place of my rest? Now we know that's in Mount Zion, okay? Check out Nehemiah, he'll lead you right to it, okay? So that's what we're on. So never mind the naysayers, because all they is saying nay. That's all they is, the no sayers. They're going to tell you no, but to ask them where the foundation of the temple is in what they call their Mount Zion. And they're not going to have no answers for you. They're asking you what you should do. So they're basically leading you to slaughter, okay? They're going to lead you to the sword. And you have to realize that, people. You got to open up the book, and you got to understand. You can't, come on, man. You calling yourself Hebrew, right? We're the Obara people. Who's your Hamashiach? You understand? I don't care if you call it a Hamashiach David. I don't care. As long as you know that there is a Hamashiach, and long as you, like Ezekiel, eat the whole scroll, okay? I'm not here to judge you, okay? The Most High is going to judge you. Trust me. He's here to judge the righteous and the wicked. So no man is going to leave without being judged, okay? But to understand the Most High, and understand the Most High is one, when you say one, you got to include His whole assembly, okay? His whole assembly, to understand the works and the creations of the Most High, to even understand it, okay? But we not on that, okay? Let's get over to the actual query, okay? Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about this query when we went down in Washington, D.C., okay? And the same night that we protested about the query, that we stood firm for the query, okay, and gave a speech for the query that night, lightning. So the Most High spoke, okay? He spoke to us, and He spoke to the world. Most importantly, He spoke to the government by a lightning bolts struck 2 people, okay? Have you seen where I displayed that, and seen that in also all news, that lightning struck, all right, the what do you call that, the obelisk statue, okay? Lightning struck their obelisk, their phallus, okay? Lightning struck their phallus in Washington, D.C., and it also struck 2 security guards. So it's letting the Most High, first of all, the Most High let us know that He heard us, and He letting them know that it's real.
non-life-threatening injuries. The lightning also struck the Washington Monument. Breaking overnight, we know at least 2 military members were hurt by lightning in D.C. They were out helping with protesters overnight. Authorities say they suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The lightning also struck the Washington Monument.
And let my people go. So that was the most beautiful thing about it. Okay, the fact, I hope those brothers are okay. It wasn't a life death threatening event, so I'm not wishing blood or death on anybody, because vengeance is the Most High's. Okay, so let's get into this note on the state of Virginia, Corey 14. Okay, so to all of those who are standing for reparations, no, you're not standing to put money in your pocket. You're standing to get resources to go and build the temple of the Most High. That's what what day is it? We're in the day of the Lord. We're in the day of the Most High. You understand? Elohim, El Shaddai. Okay, we're in the day of Hawa, Allah. You understand? We're in the day of the Most High. So, a proposal for emancipation of slaves in Virginia. That's what this Curry 14 is about. Because remember, you got a constitution that instills the 13th Amendment. That 13th Amendment make you what? It don't make you qualified to be for equality. Okay, it don't make our people, because we still got a stamp on our back that say we are descendants of slaves.
No living white person has owned a slave. Black people gotta stop blaming people for their issues and clean up their own communities. Slavery was a long time ago. Black people need to get over it. That's what continuously is told to me. Now, before I respond, I'm going to need you guys to share this video. I'm not going to curse. I'm not going to spread false information. Everything that I'm about to say is 100% true. You can look it up to see. And I'm not going to say anything that makes people cringe, at least language-wise. All right. Let's not dwell on the past. Let's go to modern history. Let's go 1964. 1964, right? That's 56 years ago. We all know somebody 56 years old, whether it's us, our parents, grandparents. So you would call that modern history, right? That was when the Civil Rights Act was passed, which made it illegal to discriminate against black people. So understand that if you know anybody over the age of 56, they lived in a time where legally you could discriminate against black people, okay? But now that the Civil Rights Act was passed, we all know that once the government signs a bill or a law, everybody abides by it, correct? So that would explain why Martin Luther King Jr., who you love to bring up so much, Martin Luther King Jr. kept protesting and kept marching, and he himself ended up being killed in 1968. That's 52 years ago. Do y'all know somebody 52 years old? Probably. So, a lot of people bring up Martin Luther King. Y'all should be more like Martin Luther King. He would be ashamed. He would not like the things that y'all are doing. When Martin Luther King died, he had a negative approval rating. As a matter of fact, polls taken at the time said that more than 1/3 of people polled said that he brought his death upon himself. All this stuff you can look up. Moving forward, 1971, 49 years ago. You know, you guys in your 40s, this is you guys. Richard Nixon, the president, declared a war on drugs, which you can look up and research that his war on drugs basically just targeted hippies and black people. All right, black people for like heroin and opioids, like the opioid crisis that we're currently in, that they're sending everybody to rehab and not putting anybody in prison. Yeah, empathy and things of that nature. Yeah, it wasn't the case for black people in the 70s. Threw all of them in jail. And even if they wasn't really doing it, throw them in jail too. Then hippies, people who are about peace, love, understanding, all lives matter. They were unfairly treated and arrested for using marijuana. Marijuana. Marijuana is the drug that, while we're in a pandemic and 40 million Americans have lost their job, marijuana dispensaries are considered essential. That's right. Been open the whole time. The people who were smoking that and saying all lives matter, yeah, they were targeted. They were targeted too. And Richard Nixon's run ran until 1974. That doesn't mean these practices ended. That means that he officially left office in 1974. That was 46 years ago. We all know someone who's 46, but that's the 70s. Let's not dwell on the 70s. Let's move to the 80s. Let's say something like 1987. Know anybody born in 1987? If you don't, you're looking at one. 33 years old. 1987. The CIA flooded black communities with crack cocaine to pay for a war in Nicaragua. You can look this up. They've made documentaries about it. There's even a movie called Kill the Messenger that was made about it, starring Hawkeye. That's how soon it is. One of the Avengers played in the movie. All you have to do is look up the CIA and Contra. You'll find everything you need to know. You'll know that Hawkeye played a guy named Webb. What happened to Webb? Why can't you just look him up? Because he's dead. Unfortunately, he committed suicide by shooting himself in the back of the head 2 times. All right, so now we have crack flooded through the black communities all through the late 80s into the 90s. And black people are like, please help us. This is tearing apart our community. So then comes the crime bill. Did this crime bill stop bringing drugs into the community? No, it did not stop the flood of illegal weapons or guns into the community. It just put everybody in the community in prison. Did it offer drug rehabilitation for the whole community? No, it did not. It left the crackheads to raise the children. This is 1994. This is the 90s. Y'all remember the 90s? Sure. Because I'm pretty sure by now, if you're watching this video, you were probably alive in the 90s. And after this bill incarcerated more black people than ever before in the history of the U.S., businesses decided to get in business with prisons because you could get free labor. And I know some of y'all might go, you can't get free labor. That's slavery. Well, according to the 13th Amendment, that abolished slavery, slavery became illegal except, guess where? Prisons, which are disproportionately filled with what? Black people. Now prisons are big business, making over $100 million a year. So in order to keep this business up, prisons have a quota for how many people must be in it every year. Yes, you heard me right. There is a quota for how many people they have to have in the beds in prisons. How do you do that? By putting more people in prisons. Maybe for crimes they didn't commit. Maybe giving them longer sentences to keep people in beds so you can meet this quota, which black people have been complaining about. And you can do the research on to find that this is true. Mass incarceration is modern day slavery. Also, when you get out and you want to change your life, you can't, because people don't treat felons the same way, no matter what your felony is, and you're not allowed to vote. And since pretty much 1 in every 3 black men have been or will go to prison, we lose 33% of our voting power. And all of this is prevalent today. 2020. You remember 2020? Of course you remember 2020, because if you're watching this video, that means you lived in 2020. Now, with all this information I've given you, I haven't brought up police brutality. I haven't brought up racism from civilians. I haven't brought up racist practices by the banks. And I'm just giving you what the government did to black people. And some of y'all will go, I didn't know any of this. But I've given you statistics. And it's okay that you didn't know. It's not okay, but it's okay. Because most of us, statistically speaking, all of us went to school with a girl who was abused in some type of way. But we didn't know. It doesn't mean it didn't happen to her. It just means we didn't know. But now that you know, ask yourself, what are you going to do about it to change it? Because it's true.
So therefore, come on, man. All right, you are a prisoner of war. Okay, so a proposal for emancipation of slaves in Virginia, but Jefferson opposes integration of the free slaves into American society. So it says, but Jefferson opposes to integrate, okay, because he felt that it would bring a massacre. Okay, it would bring a massacre. Okay, so he's saying we basically different and we can't live together, because it's a bunch of those people that really just got hate in their blood for you. Okay, they don't want to see you do well. Okay, and you just got to worry about people like that don't want to do well. Okay, they might be getting paid to not want to see you do well, but you got to worry about the people that's getting paid to not see you do well, and the type that's in their heart that don't want to see you do well. Okay, so let me read this. So to emancipate, let me try to blow this up. Let me try to blow this up real quick. Let me blow this up. Alright, so my people can read it. Alright, Apalaka to Wab, let's get it in. Okay, so it says Jefferson is summarizing several proposed revisions in the laws of Virginia. Many of the revisions were authorized by himself. Okay, give me 1 second. Shalaki. Okay, so let's talk about this now. What's Jefferson talking about in this query 14? Okay, we got a couple different versions, couple prerequisites to it, a couple writings, but we're gonna dig into this one real quick. Okay, so to emancipate all slaves born after passing the act. Okay, to emancipate. Okay, the bill reported by the revisers does not itself contain this proposition, but an amendment, containing it was prepared to be offered to the legislation whenever the bill should be taken up. Okay, so now that's what you understand it. We're trying to bring this bill back into the forefront, and so the amendment that will go with it, okay, is to emancipate all the descendants of slaves. Okay, but an amendment containing it was prepared to be offered to the legislator whenever the bill should be taken up. Okay, and further directing that they should continue with their parents to a certain age, then be brought up at the public expense to tillage, arts of science, according to their geniuses, till the females should be 18 and the males 21 years of age, when they should be colonized to such place at the circumstances of the time should render most proper, sending them out with arms. Okay, sending them out with arms, implements of household and other handicraft arts, seeds, pairs of useful domestic animals, okay, to declare them a free and independent people and extend to them our alliance and protection. So that's what we're actually, just to let you know, that's what we're actually doing. We're asking for this reparation with the protection of an alliance of the United States. We're not trying to be, we're not trying to be enemies of the United States. We're not trying to be labeled terrorists or nothing like that. We're just actually trying to build our temple for the Most High, okay, and take upon our own land, okay, our own land, Okay, so understand what that mean as he said it with his own mouth. Okay, this is after your man Thomas Jefferson. He said all males 21 years of age when they should be colonized to such place as circumstances of the time should render most proper, sending them out with arms. Okay, that's what we're talking about. We want to gird up our loins, all right, with the Most High, and also be sent out with arms. Okay, with arms, because we want to be our own army to be able to protect. Think about that. If we being sent out with a whole bunch of gold and silver, you got to think about that somebody's going to try to rob us, right? Another somebody would try to rob us. So if you got 144,000 men that's armed, then you got to understand that ain't nobody messing with us. Okay, so implements of household and of the air and handicraft arts, seeds, pair of useful domestic animals. Okay, so we can reproduce, and we can produce. Okay, to declare them a free and independent people and extend to them our alliance and protection. Okay, so till they shall have acquired strength. Okay, so he's telling you, look, these people need to have strength. We can't send them out weak and then they just gonna somebody else gonna try to enslave them. And to send vessels at the same time to other parts of the world for equal number of white inhabitants to induce whom to migrate hither. So it's telling you that, hey, whoever want to go with them, white, Hispanic, whatever, Chinese, Asian, whoever wants to go with them, y'all go with them too. You understand? And we talked. Well, I did a video. I talked about that where you're not just gonna have niggas. You're gonna have people that fall in line with the Most High. So people that fall in line, that understand the priesthood, people that understand the Hamashiach, people that understand their Most High, they're going to want to fall in line. They're going to grab on our garments. Okay, they're going to grab on our garments, and they're going to come help us build the temple. They're going to come. They're going to help. They're going to want to help to get our people to this Mount Zion to build the temple and to get our land, our holy mountain. Okay. It will probably be asked, why not retain and incorporate the blacks into the state, right? And that's what the house Negro gonna want to do, right? The house Negro is gonna want to incorporate himself into the state, all right, with everybody else, and thus save the expense of supplying, right? That's what he's going to. Matter of fact, that's what he's going to propose to you. Okay, he's going to propose that, to be able to not be a peculiar people. See, the house nigga don't want to be a peculiar people. He want to talk about sticking to the code, but you see, he's not. I know he's not talking about the commandments because he's not doing them. Okay, and the crazy part about him, he don't even know he's not doing them. The house nigga don't even know he's not doing the commandments. Like, he can say stick to the code and do the commandments all day, but you can look at him and clearly see he's not sticking to the commandments. Okay, so that's what a house nigga is. A house nigga who telling you that, yeah, let's stick to the code, but as you can see, his walk and talk, he ain't doing the commandments. Okay, he don't even understand the Hamashiach. So how can you do the commandments? Just like the Pharisees did not adhere to the Hamashiach, and they talked about they were doing the commandments, but that was the commandments of men. That's what you have to understand. They had the commandments of men. Okay, they didn't understand the laws of the Most High, the laws that would entail the Hamashiach from the beginning. Okay, and they did not understand that. So their hearts were hardened. If your hearts are hardened, you can't do the commandments. You won't do the commandments because you don't understand the commandments. Okay, so come on, it's simple once you get it. Okay, so that's what they're going to say. Why not retain and incorporate the blacks into the state? Okay, and so they can be with everybody else. They can serve the holidays. They can, they can have their holidays. They can celebrate their Juneteenths. They can celebrate their bondage days. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to be incorporated into the state and have to celebrate these no offense, pagan holidays or whatnot. Okay, we don't want to worship wood. We don't want to worship stone. We want to go back to the Creator and be in His land and be a peculiar people and to observe all His feast days. Okay, you can't observe the feast days in bondage. They don't observe the feast days if you incorporate it into the state. The state doesn't observe the feast days of the Most High. So why would we want to be incorporated into the state. When the state don't observe, they don't honor the Most High. They don't honor our God, as you say, our Lord. So therefore, that's the difference. That's why we don't no longer want to be a part of the state. It's no disrespect, but we want the state to be an ally. We want to be able to show the people that wants to come over to the land and wants to observe his feast days the proper way to do it. And no disrespect, but that's how it is. So by importation of white settlers, the vacancies they will leave. Okay, deep-rooted prejudices. Okay, so even Thomas Jefferson knew that we would be leaving a deep-root prejudice, and that's what it is. Your enemy or your oppressor has, even your brother has a deep-rooted prejudice against you, as you can clearly see that. Okay, so that's why you want to separate from that. You don't want to be in, wake up with that same you know what I'm saying, deep-root prejudice and have to look over your back, or you have to stay up overnight and why, you know what I'm saying. And so you see cats burning crosses and trying to burn you and with your house down with it, disrespecting your women and your children and not giving your due diligence. You don't want to be a part of that, man. You want to be in your own land and be protected by the Most High. Okay, so deep-rooted prejudice entertained by whites. Okay, you don't want to watch TV and the only thing on TV is stereotypical pictures of you, and the radio is stereotypical with prejudices, and you know, you don't want to be a part of that, man. You don't want to be in a part where money talk, and if you put in the poor gets trampled on. You don't want to be a part of that. Okay, 10,000 recollections, okay, by the blacks of the injuries they have sustained. Okay, they recall 10,000. I'm pretty sure it's more than that. Of the injuries we have sustained. Okay, new provocations, the real distinctions which nature has made. Okay, nature has made these distinctions. Okay, and many other circumstances. You know, we've been getting hung in trees forever. Okay, have we ever turned around and start hanging other folks on trees? No. Only our enemy can want to cut the life off, cut the breath away from us, okay, and hang us on the tree. But that's been happening to us since we've been, you know, captured, since we've been prisoners of war. Okay, so we'll divide us into parties and produce convulsions which will probably never end. Okay, in the extermination of one or the other race. Okay, so that's what Jefferson was worried about. He was worried about the extermination of the one or the other race. Okay, and he knew that would happen if we stayed, because of what? Because of the deep-rooted prejudices. Okay, the deep-rooted prejudice. Okay, so all right, so so to these objections, which are political, okay, may be added others which are physical and moral. Okay, it's all political, it's all physical, and it's immoral. Okay, so we just want to be a moral people, all right, and we want to be a peculiar people, and we want to just be with the Most High and only worship the Most High. We don't want to worship anything else but the Most High. Okay, so over the next several pages, Jefferson argues on the basis of his own observation in Virginia that blacks are inferior to whites in the endowments, okay, both of body and mind, he concludes. So as you can see, even Jefferson, the claim to be so smart, but he still can say that, you know, that blacks are inferior to whites in this, you know, but what I think where he was saying that from a standpoint of already being captured, already being a prisoner of war. So you understand that when he studied us, or when they studied us, they can understand we were under threat and direct. Okay, for those who know what that means we were being forced to live in a certain type of lifestyle, certain type of condition. Okay, and anytime we would power up, it seemed like somebody had just come kill us. Anytime we would speak of our own mind, or wear our hair the way we wanted to, or wear our fringes, or, you know what I'm saying, somebody would try to come kill us, man. So you understand, we had to dumb ourselves down just to be a part of this society, which we don't want to do anymore. It's no you know. And so that's why I dropped the video, so you can understand when that brother talked about all the bills that been set forth to keep us back. That's from your enemy. That's from the deep-rooted prejudice. Okay, all these Jim Crow laws, all these laws that were put into place to hold you back. Okay, from Congress Okay, from Congress. Okay, not from progress, from Congress. Okay, so it was a lack of progress when we were dealing with the Congress because these prejudices were deep rooted. But it's no problem. We're not blaming nobody. It was prophecy. We failed. We fell from the Creator's grace. So therefore, this is what we had to deal with. We had to deal with being the tail of a people. So it's no problem. We're not. You know, we don't have a problem with that. All we're asking is that you amend this bill and deal with it and deal with our people finally to give us to give us reparations so that we can repatriate to our land and build a temple, okay, to our Father's holy mountain. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read this anyway, even though I know it's dealt with prejudices, but I'm gonna still read it because we don't have nothing to hide, okay? We fail, okay? It's our problem. We don't have no races or prejudice against anyone, okay? Anyone is able to come get this love, okay? Because we have the love of the Creator. Understand? We have the love of the Creator. Anybody could come get some of this love, okay? So the opinion that they are inferior in the faculties of reason and imagination must be hazarded with great dividends. To justify a general conclusion requires many observations, even where the subject may be submitted to an anatomical knife. Okay? So he's saying even we cut them open, we can see a difference. To optical glasses, to analysis by fire or by solvents. Okay, so you can see that they done burnt plenty of us up. So you can see how he's saying, listen, even when they're being burnt, okay, analysis by fire, okay, these people are different. How much more then where is a faculty, not a substance, we are examining, okay, you're examining a people, not a substance, where it eludes to research of all the scenes, where the conditions of its existence are various and various combined, okay? Where the effects of those which are present or absent bid, okay, defiance to calculation. Let me add too, as a circumstance of great tenderness, where our conclusion would degrade a whole race of men, okay? Our conclusion would degrade, okay? We'll look down on the whole race of men from the rank in the scale of beings which their creator may, you see how he said their creator may perhaps have given them, okay? So even he denies that we have the same creator, okay? To our reproach it must be said that though for a century and a half we have had under our eyes the races of blacks, okay, said 100 years we have had under our eyes the races of blacks and of red men. They have never yet been viewed by us as subjects of natural history. I advance it therefore as a suspicion only that the blacks, whether originally a distinct race or made distinct by time and circumstances, are inferior to the whites in the endowments both of body and mind. Okay, so he doesn't realize that they've been trained for that event. They was trained for this event, for war. They were trained for this event. Okay, and they also had the Most High on their side. Okay, because of what we done. He said, I will send you a people that don't even acknowledge me, people that don't even know me. Okay, I'm gonna send the people over there that don't even know me to conquer you. Okay, so this is what it is, man. This is the Corey 14, and this is just part of it. He got plenty other speeches, but this is the one that we can take a glimpse on and understand and build a foundation off of this to understand that we need, just from Thomas Jefferson in 1748, okay, we need, what do we need? And we know the 1784 was the 1200s. Okay, so what do we need? We need reparations to repatriate, okay, to go back and build the temple. Why? If you check out Nehemiah 3, it's to actually build the temple of the Most High, to build his house. Go back to Isaiah 65 and 66, you'll see it right there. And for those of you that don't understand the Most High And his Hamashiach, that was from the beginning, from the foundation of the world, he has a sword for you, okay? He has a sword because you're leading the people astray and you're nothing but a house nigga, okay? So we don't got to argue with no house nigga, you understand? Because we already know what side you on, house nigga, okay? So understand you leading your people to slaughter, okay? But we still love you. We love you, but we praying for you that one day you get it right, house nigga, and stop leading them thousands of people to slay, you lead them to the sword, okay? And you don't even realize it, all right? Because you ain't deep rooted. You actually deep rooted in anger, and you deep rooted in what did Thomas Jefferson say? What did he say? You're deep rooted in prejudices against your own people, all right? So walla walla, all right, shalom, shalom, my people. Make sure you are what side you on, okay? What side you on, because it's the day of the Lord. We talking about you on the Lord's side. You on the priesthood of the Hamashiach. You on the priesthood of the Most High. It's called the Melchizedek. You're a Zadokite, or you with the Mahad, okay? Those are two different priesthoods, man. One is falling and one is rising, okay? One is rising. So peace and good blessings, good tidings to my brothers and sisters, my Aki, my Akiyam, okay? And fall in line, man. And that's with the Creator. All right, Ba Hashem Abba, Ya Allah, Yahusha Hameshiach.
Your brother in the spiritual manifest. Not a lot of views, but your idols love my records. Nothing special, black down on the crest of the Cuban necklace. Speaking of the dark age of my medieval textures. Trying to change the system and make change, but they won't let us. Sign a query 14 bill of law, we need that check. When they take a dollar bill away, black market swept away. Just as it began, it shall end the agriculture. I'm a soldier of the people. You a soldier of the weeper. I'm a soldier of the people. You a soldier of the weeper. I'm a soldier of the people. You a soldier of the weeper. I'm a soldier of the people. You a soldier of the weeper. I'm a soldier of the people. You a soldier of the weeper. I'm a soldier of the people. We all soldiers.